to verify my coil. And now we get to try to make it out of this. Hey look, my traction control stuff's come back on. Not traction control, but stability. This is a heck of a turn right here. Don't use the track door. Make sure you get around it. There we go. Make sure you get around the corner back there. Wow. That's tight. This is the first time I've ever been in this door. Man. I'm gonna guess it's an automatic door. I hope so. Yeah. Yay. Took a minute to find the place, took a minute to get loaded, took a minute to get all this stuff on. I still got to put the tarps on. We got one more chain and a tarp to do. We'll do that out here in the yard. Wow, that's tight. We're gonna roll over here and do all this. See if we can get up on the trailer and get us a picture of the lake over here. There she is. Hey, I'm trying to do a video here, people. God, she's not pretty, but she'll ride. That's right. And she almost turned into one I couldn't get the rubber down to the rub rail, man. I was about to get pissed. But check this out. Lake Michigan. There's Chicago over there. I don't know if can you see it? I'll zoom in for you. Chicago. We're done. Let's get out of here. Well, everybody, how y'all doing? We're here, and it's a little loud in here, and I don't have my GoPro, so we're gonna get all this off, go to our next stop. Let's go. Man, oh man. As you can see, we're done and moving. Oh, and as I predicted with my wife, told her, I said, they're sending me to Mississippi. I'll probably be picking up wood product. And I am. I'm going to go over here to Bruce. Michael Borman Bruce. Michael, is your name not Bruce? Anybody know what movie that's from? If you got kids, you should. Anyway, so we're going to go pick up some wood product. Yup. And it's going to Michigan for Friday. So my fleet manager called me after they sent me the preload, and he said I'm going to try to work on, I wasn't scheduled to stay out this weekend, so he said I'm going to try to work on a swap. He said I don't have a lot of people in that area. He said it might not happen. So I told him, I said, man, it's cool. I said, just keep me informed. And then I called the wife and I asked her, I said, you mind if I stay out this weekend? She's like, nah. She said, well, what do we got going on? I said, nothing. I said, I got bowling scheduled, but I can always reschedule bowling. It's not, my grandson's birthday party or something, which I'm trying to get my son to schedule. Schedule a birthday party, son. Anyway, so I'm going to stay out this weekend and go ahead and take this up to Michigan for Friday and get me a weekend load. And I'll be home in a week. No big deal. But I did want to talk to you about some of the things that you have to endure being a truck driver. When you go to these places like this right here, people do not tell you what they want you to do until they're frustrated with you about not doing what they want you to do because they haven't told you yet. And there's usually no signage telling you what to do. Alright? So when you get people that seem frustrated with you because you're not doing something they want you to do, just remember that they do this 100 times a day. And in their mind, see, they don't know if you've been there or not, but in their mind, you should know what you should be doing, because they know what you should be doing. And it's not that they're usually mean about it. It's just like, God, another person I got to tell what to do. It happens that way sometimes. For example, today, first time I have delivered here. I have never delivered here before. Okay? This is a Toyota plant. They build cars here. I'm gonna guess they build the Corolla since the road is named after the car. That's just a guess, though. But there was no sign. There was signage telling you where to take the coil, and there was signage telling you what protective equipment you're supposed to be wearing. But when you went into the building, there was one sign that said truck drivers are to remain with their truck, and you could go ahead and untarp, but not to unsecure until you got into the building. Okay, not a problem. So I get in there and the guy's not there. The warehouse guy's not there. Well, there's another truck driver in front of me, and he came down there and informed me that when he drove up about 15 minutes before I did, the warehouse guy told him that he was going to lunch and that he was going to have to wait. So I sat there for a good hour. I know that dude was sitting there for an hour 15 or whatever. And so we finally got the warehouse guy back, and he comes and gets my paperwork and then brings my paperwork back to me and says he's going to truck the coil. Well, I'm looking at the paperwork and he's got 2 initials on it. Well, Maverick requires you to have a name, because they won't, if there's any disputes, and most trucking companies are like this. I know, I've dealt with them. Being a Walmart manager, dealt with that crap. Well, most of them want at least a first name so they can go back. If there's any disputes about paying the bill, then the trucking company can go back and say, well, this person here signed for it. Same way with FedEx, UPS, all of that stuff. They do the same thing, right? And so the guy had 2 initials on there. Well, I'm looking at it, and then he yells at me from the back of the truck. So I get out with my paperwork, and he says, and I've got everything with me. I knew what he was wanting. He was wanting this tag that I had. He's like, there's no tag on the coil. I was like, I got the tag. He's like, well, you made me walk up on top of that coil and stuff. I said, you didn't tell me you wanted the tag. Like, if you would have said, I need the tag. Hello? Hi, sweetie. I'm all right. Sorry, the wife called. You got to answer those, right? Yes, you do. So anyway, the guy that, for example, the guy that unloaded me today, all right, I know the guy works there, had probably been working there for a while. It's routine to him. You know, he knows exactly what should happen and all that stuff. But when you're new going into a place you've never been to before, you know, sometimes you might need a little instruction. That's why I'm a big advocate for signs and reading signs. If you see a sign, read that sucker, because it might actually tell you what you need to do. Maybe. I'm all for them putting signs up and telling me what I need to do. So they didn't have any signs up to tell you what you needed to do. And I'm in there. I've got everything off. I'm unloaded, or I'm unchained, unsecured, you know, untarped and all that stuff. Well, he comes up and gives me my paperwork. And all he's got on there is 2 initials. And so I'm looking at the paperwork, and he's up on my trailer checking in my coil. And he yells at me and says, hey, can you come here for a minute? I'm like, sure. And I took my paperwork with me because I needed to talk to him anyway, because I needed a name. Okay? And he says there's no coil placard on here, and I had it in my hand. I had it with me. I said, this what you're looking for? He's like, yep. He's like, you made me get up on there. He said, you made me crawl up on there and stuff. I was like, I didn't make you do anything. You know? And he said, well, I got to check in the coil with it. I said, well, here you go. And I said, and there's something I need from you. I said, I need an actual name on here. And he said, he pointed at his chest, and it was like Edgewardo, or it wasn't Eduardo, it was Edgewardo. It had a G in there. And trust me, he corrected me when I said his name. And I was thinking to myself, if you'd have wrote it down in the first place, you know, I wouldn't have had to ask you what your name was. You know? Which was fine. I just, you know, said thank you, appreciate it, wrote it down, went back to what I was doing. Well, then he comes up and he says, well, I'm gonna unload you in the third bay up there. I was in bay number 1. He said, when that other truck driver moves, he said, you can pull up there. No problem. And then he says, go ahead and move into bay number 2. So I did. And then he comes to my window and he says, on second thought, I'm gonna unload you right here after I unload that other guy. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I get my food out, and I'm eating my lunch and stuff. And then he comes to me, he goes, I need you to get out and put the chocks between your drive wheels, or drive tires. And he was standing right beside the suckers. And I'm like, okay, well, let me put my lunch down. So I get out and I put the chocks in, and he walks off, and I get back into my truck. He unloads the other truck driver. The other truck driver's taking off. And he comes to my window, he goes, and I could feel him, I could feel the claws of the crane on my coil, you know. And he comes to the window, he goes, I'm sorry to bother you again, I can't unload you while you're in your cab. And by this time, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, why didn't we have a long conversation about what all I needed to do, so I could have just went ahead and did that and been done with it. So I get out of the truck, and I told him, I said, you know, I said a little bit of signage telling us what we needed to do. I said, we can read, you know. I said just a little bit telling us what we needed to do would be helpful. And he's like, I know. He's like, well, then either put up signage that tells that, go to your boss and say, hey, we need signage for these truck drivers, or have a conversation with somebody who's not doing what you want them to do. But what you're going to find is that people will get frustrated with you because they think, because they do it every day, that knowledge should transfer to you somehow, I guess through some kind of psychic powers, or I don't know. They read your. I'm supposed to read your mind, or I don't know. Call like the Dionne Warwick, 1-800 psychics or whatnot, whatever. But have a conversation with people. Hey, you know what you need to do? No, sir. What do you need me to do? Here's what I need you to do. Blah 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 blah. Cool. I'll do all that stuff for you so I can get the heck up out of here. Truck drivers, all they want to know is how efficient can you be getting their stuff on and off their truck, and how quick then can they get out of there. Anything they can do most of the time to help, by God, I'm all for it. Now, there are some truck drivers out there that don't want to help. They just want to sit in the truck and then gripe about how long it takes. I'm not one of those. I'll do whatever you need me to do. I just need to know that I need to do it. I'm okay with it. So anyway, that's some of the funky stuff that you get to deal with out here. Just be patient. If you're new to it, just be patient. They'll get you out of there a lot quicker if you're just patient with them. Don't start a ruckus. Now, you can talk like I did. Tell them, hey, this would be helpful, But, he wasn't mad at me for suggesting it. That's for sure. But don't come to them with attitude. You don't want that. Because they're going to take as long as they want to take. Because they're paid by the hour. They don't give a crap whether you sit there or not. They don't care. So, be patient. Be courteous. Make your statements, but do it in a courteous way. Just be patient. You'll be out of there. Go on down the road, make some money, right? Speaking of, let's go pick up some lumber. So we're here. We're being loaded. Well, he's digging out the first of it. Man. There we go. How's that? I'm going to have enough time to get this secured up, strapped up, or tarped up, and hopefully we can get to a truck stop. There's one about 50 miles or so. There's some in the other direction that are closer, but I don't want to get any out of route. Just want to go that way. If I got to drive over my time a little bit to get there, so be it. I got about 3 hours left on my clock, so if he can get me loaded in the next 30 minutes, that'll leave me 2.5 hours. Take me about an hour to strap up and get tarped up. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close, but that's the way the game plays sometimes. So we'll get this loaded and get it all done up. And since I'm going to be out this weekend, I'm not going to be home to get my frame for my GoPro. So I've got it up there on the dash right now, and I've got one it's got one prong on it. So I've got the screw going through there and holding it in. I think it's going to be good enough for like hanging it, because it just hangs down and it won't move around a lot. I'm going to try to get to a Walmart or Target or Best Buy or something this weekend while I'm out, and see if I can find one, just a frame. I've got a skeleton coming, which it's a little bit more hefty. I need a waterproof case, and then I need another frame like this one. The frames are thinner, but they just fit around it, and all the openings and everything's there. But anyway, I'll try to get one this weekend, and that'll get me back to the GoPro footage. That thing takes such good photo or video, man. And the audio is really good, and I've been enjoying just having it on my helmet and talking to you guys while I'm working, and then just doing the work and letting you guys see it. I'm enjoying that right now. So I'm a little disappointed that I don't have it at the moment. But it'll get back. We're gonna get back there. So you guys bear with me, and hopefully this weekend I can grab at least just a frame somewhere and get back with it next week. That way it won't be a whole, another week before I can do any of that stuff. But anyway, we're just gonna get loaded up and get the stuff done, and I think that's gonna be it for today. Yep. We'll see y'all tomorrow.